Dead men tell no tales, but their ships speak volumes. Welcome to the Cursed Compass, where we explore the darkest maritime mysteries. In late 1809, the crew of the city of Edinburgh arrived in New Zealand's Whangaroa Harbour. They expected a routine pickup of Kauri timber. Instead, they steered their ship into a graveyard. When a rescue party reached the shore, they found the beach littered with fresh human remains. The bones had been picked clean, and on many of them, searchers could see distinct human teeth marks. Out in the shallow waters lay the wreckage. The Boyd, a 395-ton British brigantine that had sailed from Sydney weeks earlier, was now a smoking, burnt-out hull sinking into the mudflats. The local Maori had already declared the blackened shipwreck and the waters immediately surrounding it tapu, a sacred prohibition. The site was cursed, and any interaction with the wreckage was strictly forbidden. When the Boyd originally left port, it carried 70 passengers and crew. By the time the city of Edinburgh arrived, searchers managed to find exactly 4 survivors, all of them deeply traumatized. To understand how a standard commercial voyage ended in mass slaughter, we have to look back at the weeks leading up to the tragedy and a specific event that set this cycle in motion. Earlier that year, the Boyd sailed from Australia under the command of Captain John Thompson. Working among the crew on that voyage was a young New Zealander known to the sailors as George, but whose real name was Te Ara. Te Ara was the son of a powerful Maori chief from Whangaroa, a royal lineage that commanded immense respect among his people. During the voyage, the ship's cook accidentally threw several pewter spoons overboard. To avoid punishment, the cook lied and accused Te Ara of stealing them. Captain Thompson ignored Te Ara's defense. Disregarding the young man's status as a chief's son, Thompson ordered him tied to the ship's capstan, deprived him of food, and had his back whipped raw with a cat-o'-nine-tails. In British maritime law, flogging was the standard response to minor theft. In Māori culture, however, physically punishing the son of a chief was a direct destruction of his mana, his spiritual power, authority, and public standing. The moment Te Ara returned home and displayed the whip marks on his back, his tribe was bound by custom to seek utu, a mandatory, violent retribution required to restore their honor. Captain Thompson remained unaware of the impact of his actions. Te Ara was able to regain the captain's confidence, promising to lead him to the best timber in the bay, and successfully lured Thompson and 4 of his officers into the woods. Once the shore party was out of sight, the waiting warriors ambushed them. They killed the 5 men and immediately stripped the officers of their clothing to use as disguises. At dusk, the warriors dressed in the stolen British uniforms rowed back to the Boyd. The unsuspecting crew welcomed them aboard. Then, under the cover of darkness, the slaughter began. The attackers moved through the ship, killing the crew before calling the passengers to the deck. 5 people managed to scramble high into the ship's rigging. From the darkness of the masts, they were forced to watch the events unfolding on the deck below them. The following morning, the warriors towed the captured vessel into the mudflats. Dozens of Maori climbed aboard to loot the hold, tossing salt pork and flour overboard while gathering up a cache of muskets and gunpowder. While searching the hold, a warrior attempted to test a captured musket. He struck the flint, throwing a spark directly into the open barrels of gunpowder. The resulting explosion killed the looters instantly. The blast ignited the ship's cargo of whale oil, and a massive fire swept through the vessel until the Boyd burned down to its copper sheathing. When word of the attack reached Alexander Barry, the captain of the city of Edinburgh, he launched a rescue operation. Barry took local chiefs hostage, forcing the tribe to release the ship's papers and the 4 surviving passengers, a woman, 2 children, and a teenage boy. Barry's intervention secured the survivors, but the violence was not over. Months later, a coalition of European whaling ships arrived in the Bay of Islands, intent on revenge. This map shows Whangaroa Harbour, where the Boyd was actually destroyed. However, the whalers made a fatal geographical error. Confusing the names of the chiefs involved, the whalers bypassed the perpetrators. Instead, they attacked the village of Chief Te Pahi. the very man who had tried to save the fleeing survivors of the Boyd. The sailors burned his island and killed up to 60 innocent people. Reports of the cannibalism and the brutal retaliations reached Europe. Shipping and missionary visits to New Zealand fell away to almost nothing for the next several years, as word of the cursed shore spread. A single incident of physical humiliation on the open sea triggered a cycle of death that wiped out a crew and doomed an innocent village miles away. Today, the charred remains of the Boyd rest beneath the mud, a permanent monument to that collision.